Hello everyone, this is Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. I'm here with the second part of my file folder junk journal notebook thingy. Right, we made the base on the first episode, and I did say that I would put the measurements in the description. Well, I forgot to put them in, but I have since been back and put them in. So if you look for them before and they weren't there, they've magically appeared now. Right, I've gone ahead and done a little bit of preparation for this one just to speed it up a little bit. So that's what it looks like. We'll move that one out of the way. That is a different one to what you saw yesterday, by the way, because I've just been continuing to make these off camera. Right, we made our base, we made our pockets, our tag, and we made the little notebook that's going to go in it. Now what we need to do next is start to cut our papers from the book. I'll just quickly show you the book if anyone's not seen the first part yet. This is it. It's the Victorian Flower Album by Henry Terry. Really gorgeous book. So I'm just going to move the things we don't need for now over to one side. I'm going to bring my base in, and I'm going to show you how I've cut the papers and give you the measurements, and I will this time put the measurements in the description. Right, we'll start with the front. For the front we need two pieces. We need to cut the book down to 8 inches. It starts off at, I think it's just over 8 1/4. So this piece is 8 inches by 1 3/4 inches, just to mat on there. We then need another piece for this part, and that will be 8 inches by, I've made this one too wide, so you'll get to see me cut. Anyway, I'm not stopping the video, I'm starting again. 4 3/4 is the width of the pocket, so this piece of paper needs to be 4 1/2, and I've gone and cut it to the same size. Good job I'd not put my tools away, isn't it? Yeah, when you're choosing your papers, you really can't go wrong with this book, because it's just wall-to-wall flowers. So we'll do that. Pop a bit more ink back round that. There you go. Let's pretend that didn't happen now, shall we? So yes, the piece for the front cover needs to be 8 inches by 4 1/2 inches, and they are the two pieces we need to stick on first. So let's crack on with that. The glue I'm going to use is Collal, very similar to 3-in-1 Fabri-Tac, but a whole lot cheaper. Oh, do you know we could have had that either side? I've gone for that side. Poor little butterfly is going to get covered up. So you just use it just like you would use. I've got strings and bits of fluff on it. Just use your 3-in-1 Fabri-Tac. I opened the bottle. Ooh. This bottle has an adjustable nib, so you can control the flow, which I find really, really useful. Oh, I'm wobbly doing this in mid-air. I think we need to control the flow and make it a little faster. That's better. That's better. It can sometimes be handy to let this glue set a little bit. Oh, there you go. I don't like doing this. Mushing it out with my finger. It's not my favourite thing to do. Grab a cloth. There we go. The reason we need to get these papers on the very first thing is we need to start making some holes to put our string button closure on. Let's open that flap, make my life a bit easier. There we go. I'm not going to press that down too much yet. We've still got quite a bit of wiggle time with it, and I'm just going to let the glue set up a little bit. You get less seeping around the edges when you do it like that. And I'll get some glue on this piece. Oh yeah, I've got my flow a lot better now on this glue. Yeah, I get my Collal from a place called Every Craft's a Pound. Bit of an oxymoron really, because not everything is a pound. It used to be when they first started, a bit like Poundland. Everything used to be a pound, now it's not. Pop that one on there. There we go. Now I'm going to go back to my little flap, and I'm just going to press that one down. I tend to go in from the edge and then any glue squishes in before it squishes out. Oh, we've done quite well on there. No seepage, as I call it. I've got my little magic rubber. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those. Well, we will get something seeped before we've done with this. And it just removes it really easily. Right, I'm happy with that. Now the next thing we need to do is, if you remember, I'll get these little circles out. We made our little circles yesterday and inked them up. I need 2 of those. Grab my pencil. And I need to decide where I'm going to put these. I like them in the middle. I just do. That looks around in the middle. I'm just going to eyeball it for now. I'm going to put a mark. I'm probably not exactly in the centre vertically, but I've got it where I want it horizontally. And then I'm going to bring in my crocodile, the big one, and I'll use the measurements on the base of this. I'll set that at 4 1/8, because the height of the folder is 4 and 8 1/4, sorry. If I set that to 4 1/8, I know I'm going to get that right. Happy with that. Oh, we're not off by much. To then decide where to put my other one, I'll just place that there. I just want the distance between them to be pretty similar. They don't have to be exactly the same, just similar. Another little hole. Backing with the crocodile. We're really that far out? We're really? And you know, I'm just going to check that because I'm not convinced. Let's do it that way. Yeah, always do it from the top or the bottom on both sides. Just make sure if you are out a bit with your crocodile, that's better. There we go. So put that to one side for a minute. Now get my little circle tabs. We cut these others, if you remember. We want one to go on the opposite side of the cardboard just to strengthen it. Then we cut these really tiny ones. They're the ones to give a little bit of height between the folder and the tab. Grab my eyelet. That's, oh no, I need to glue this first. If I were using my handheld crocodile, I wouldn't need to glue this. But when I use the actual big one, anything that's on the underneath of the eyelet is really hard to keep in place because it falls off. Right, pop that there. That's one. Just a tiny bit just around there. It's not going anywhere because it is also going to be held in place with the eyelet. That's that. Yeah, and I'll stick these on as well. In fact, I'll put the glue straight onto the card. Just a little bit. That just minimises the risk of the eyelet pulling through the card and ruining your project. It's got 2 layers of card there. Just open it up then and find the back of that hole, and I'll just pop another one on there. I think it just gives the folder a little bit of longevity, makes it a bit more sturdy. Right, now back to the eyelet. So pop your eyelet in, then pop it through there, then back to the big chompy crocodile. Don't sit the crocodile on my papers. Move it to the eyelet setting point, and that's one. Look at the back, that's quite nice, quite smooth as well. Get the other circle, the other eyelet, pop that in. If you know how to do this, just fast forward me. I'm guessing there's a few people watching this project who perhaps haven't done this before. There we go. So that's both our button string, well, buttons are on, whatever you want to call them. Right, the next thing to stick on is this piece. on the inside. Right, you can see why we needed to put that on first, because we don't want that to be exposed on the inside. The width of that piece is not really important. I tend to just use a relevant scrap. The main thing with that is that we're not going to see the back of the card when we put our side pocket on, which is here. See what I mean? Yeah. If I cut that too short, we'd see that, or if we made the hole first, we'd see that coming through the paper. So let's get the collal back. Oh, my collal's been volcanoing. I cannot, this is what I call volcanoing when it squirts out. I cannot remember to close my lid. I'm terrible. Closing lids, what's that all about? Right, get our glue on the back. You can use any glue for this. Excuse me. One type of glue, well, it's not, well, it is a glue, a dry adhesive. I use double-sided tape sometimes when I've got plenty of time, because I've got lots of double-sided tape. I used to make mini albums, and when you make mini albums, I don't know why everyone used double-sided tape. Because looking back on it, perhaps these glues would have been better. Right, let's line that up. Again, before I start to press that down too much, make sure I've got it where I want it. Looking good. I've got a bit of glue on my fingers now. Could do with using my rubber on them. Press in from the edge towards the centre again. You'll have less squidging out. I've done pretty well. I've not had any squidge out yet on the project. It's all over my finger and my bottle like, but... Now, before I stick this on, I'm going to go and stick this on just to let that set a little bit. So yeah, the measurements of that, it's 8 high, and this one is, I did write it down, save me measuring, 8 high, and that's 3.5 wide. But like I said, as long as it's, I think you'd get away with 3 1/4, perhaps 3, maybe a bit short. This one is 8. Because this pocket is a little bit narrower, I've done that one 8 1/8. Yeah, a little bit shorter than the back one. So then the pocket that's going to go over it is, sorry, 8 1/8, 5 1/8. The pocket that's going to go over it is 5 1/4, and I just like that to be tucked in. Yep. So let's stick this on first, back to collal. Yeah, so all I did, I just cut my papers to size and did the edge inking for you, just to speed up seeing how this project gets finished. So pop that on. Am I happy with that? I'm pretty happy with that. What have I got underneath? Oh, I've got a pin out of my glue. And you see I've got all my glues out. They're always on my desk. There we go. And again, before I go pressing that down too firmly, I'll let it set. So let's go back to this one, give it a press. That's pretty good now. Have I got glue on my finger somewhere? Yes. So bring this in, and glue is gone. Love that rubber. Next thing is I'm going to stick this side pocket on over there, and I'm going to use my tonic. Why does Alex... Oh, I've said her name. No, don't say it. She bonged. No idea what that were all about. Don't even know what a bong means. Just a bead of glue. Just let me unblock that. As you know, I'm really terrible at putting the pins back in when needed. So I just need to clear that hole out. Yep, there we go. Still having to squeeze it pretty hard, but I'm going to persevere. I really am. We don't need a lot of it. Try and keep it as near the edge as you can, just to maximise the room in that pocket. There we go. Just line that up with corner. Turn it a bit. Yeah, I'm trying to waffle less on this video and just crack on and get this project done. So I've had quite a few positive comments on the first half, people who've enjoyed it. So yeah, I don't want to keep you waiting to see how to finish it. Right, so that one's on. The next pocket I'm going to stick on is this interior pocket. So we've got this here. Remember, this is the one we've already put the semicircle in, so we know that's the interior one. I am going to switch to my art glitter just for now, because I think I need to take the lid off my tonic and give it a little bit of a rinse. So this is going to come out a little bit quicker, she says. She hopes. Have I blocked this one up as well, not print pinning? Probably. Well, that's a bit better. I think this might be a little bit more liquid, I don't know. Line that up at bottom first. I'm a bit shaky today, I don't know where that's come from. I'm not nervous, just... There we go. Just press it down again. I like to press from the outside in, eliminate the squidging. And there we have it. Lovely. Right, so there we have it. We've got the front done with a little bit of glue on it. We've got the interior done, and now we're going to move on to the back. It's slightly different for the back. If I bring my other one back in just for a second, can you see how I like to use a continuous, I like the picture to be continuous. That's where having the page a little bit longer comes in. So I'm not cutting this back piece, can you see I've not cut it down to the 8 inches. I've left it at it's just over 8 1/4, just so I can cut the piece off for there, and when I'm left with the top bit that will tuck in and we won't see a gap. Excuse me. So I'm bring my little cutter back in. Right, so our bottom pocket is 3 3/4. Check we've got the width, yeah. So I'm going to cut this at just over 3 1/2, just because I have a slightly smaller gap around the paper on this back one. So just a smidgen over 3 1/2, and I'm going to chop the bottom off. And at this point I pray that I've done it correctly, otherwise I need to get another piece of paper. Right, so we get that bottom bit of paper, I'll just line it up there. Then I'll bring back in my circle punch, and this is why we haven't done the circle in that back bit yet. If you find this easier to keep it lined up, I'll do it just to show you. I've got my big bulldog clip. I'm just going to hold it like that, then it will stay where you want it. Open the punch up, and I will now cut my semicircle. So I'm cutting through both the paper and the file folder. There we go. I will then get my tiny little scissors, my little Tim Holtz ones, and I'm just going to cut a little bit off there. It's like I'm just rounding off that little bit of a corner, and I'll do that on both sides. Yep. So then when I place it back on and bring it down a little bit, we've just got a much nicer gap. It's much more even. We then need to do a little bit of inking on that, just to make it match everything else. One. There we go. Now I'm not going to stick the paper on the pocket first. I'm going to do that last, because I want to make sure it lines up nicely with the pocket on there. So just move the pocket and the paper to the side for a second, bring back the collal, and we'll get some glue on this. Oh, it sounds like, is it raining outside here? Could be. There's a lot of trees out over back from me. Sometimes when it winds in them, it sounds like it's raining when it's not. So, might be raining, might not be. I can see out at window, but then I can't see much for the tree. I can't see wood for trees. Right, pop that one on. I hope I'm lining these up straight. It really is hard to tell when you've not got your head right over them. There we go, happy with that. Now I'm going to get the pocket. We're using art glitter, aren't we? Oh, this pocket, you know how we made it with, there's a crease, there's a bend. I just get my bone folder, scotch that down a bit, and I just smooth over that. And then you can hardly see that there was a crease there. Once it's stuck down, it's not going to bend or go anywhere. So that's that bit. Whee. Yeah, I really need to try a metal tip on my other tacky glue. I think I've seen Carol Tinson do it. Yeah, she decants. She uses another glue that I sometimes use, the Hobbycraft tacky glue, and she decants it into one of those little bottles with a metal tip on. So yeah, I know it's possible. I just need to get my bum in gear and do it. Right, that's that stuck on. I've tried to make the little gaps there even, so that when I put my paper on it's even. I'm going back into mini album card making mode, aren't I? Everything's got to be lined up within 1/8 of an inch of its life. I just think I think that's why this project gives me so much joy, because it is junk journal, but then again it's like a mini album. Right, get some collal on here. There we go. This collal glue, I tend to find it makes things a little bit, if you're say sticking 2 thin pieces of card or paper together, they're a little bit stiffer when you've done, which I think is a plus. If you're doing something that you want to keep quite flexible, it does make things a little bit stiffer than they would if you'd use 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac. But as I always say, I like to use the cheapest glue that will do the job. And for me, on this project, that's collal. You can buy half a litre of collal glue for the same price as about 150 mils of the Fabri-Tac. That's a big saving. Right, so there we go. We've got the base of our folder completed. So I'm just going to pop that out at way to dry. I'm going to bring in my little notebook and my papers. Right, I've done the papers because again this is not rocket science. I have got 10 randomly ripped pieces of paper that will fit in there. They're not all the same size. I quite like it when they're different. And I try to make the front one the most interesting piece. I think somewhere I've got a piece of paper that I did some doily tea dyeing with. I thought I had. Was it gone? Is that it? No, that's not it. So let's count them. I usually put 10 in. 1, 2. We'll spread them out. We've got plain, lined, squared. 3, 4. That's from a diary. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I've found my doily one. 10. So I'll just gather those all together now. Yeah, I'm quite happy how that looks. I like all these uneven edges and bottoms. I think it makes it look quite rustic. So we then need to tuck those up inside there. Yep. And again, if you want to grab the big bulldog clip and just clip them so they stay where you want them. And we're going to come back in with our crocodile. Right, you can actually, do you know, you can get away with using small crocodile for this, so I'm going to use small crocodile. Yeah, I sometimes use one, I sometimes use other. Right, so look, if you come in from the side, you will ensure that you can then still reach with the small crocodile to put your eyelets in, so I'll do that. So that's one. I'll come in from that side. I'll gauge the height by eye. That's 2. So we've now got our 2 holes. What I'm then going to do is unclip the card, and I'll just clip the papers back together for now. And I just put some eyelets on there. Again, I'm going to put the little reinforcers on the back. You know, I don't honestly know whether you need to do this. I just have this fear of the eyelets ripping through. It has happened to me a time or two, but I think that had more to do with the quality of the eyelets. I've found some that I'm happy with now. Pop that one there. Now on the back of this, I've just been putting some little reinforcement rings, you know, the ones that you put around your card and paper at school, which I did get some out. Here they are. These are some little craft ones, pretty cute. Picked these up on Amazon. There we go. I just think the craft looks really good with this green. This lizard green. That's what we're going to call it, lizard green. Right, so now I'll pop my eyelets in there. Bring in my handheld crocodile. Well, again, just use whatever you've got. Whatever you've got that makes holes and sets eyelets. I happen to have got these, so I'm going to use them. I do recommend these, I like them. So, they're sturdy, a lot sturdier than their corner chompers. So there we have that. I'm then going to bring my paper back in. And what I fasten those together with, I use this. It's some fine burlap trim. Burlap. Sisal, I think, is the actual name for it. Sisal trim. Line my holes up. Again, this is probably teaching my grandma to suck eggs, but we go in there. Managed to get all the way through. That saved a few seconds. Back through there. I'm running out of this fine 1mm one, so I'm not cutting it off. I don't want. No, I'm not going to unplug her. She's just a feature of my channel now, isn't she? Dingling away. Told you I'm an Amazon addict. That'll be a notification of whatever I happen to be having delivered today. I'm terrible. I mean, I've got quite a few Amazon links in my description. If you buy something from clicking one of those, I do get a small commission. But I promise you, I will only put in there items that I use and recommend. You will notice that I didn't bother putting, I've not tied that tight enough, I didn't bother putting my corner chomper in that's broken, because I wouldn't recommend it. So I've not put a link in. If you decide to buy one, on your head be it. No, I don't mean it like that. So yeah, I'll only put links to products I regularly use, and that, yeah, if I won't recommend them to my best friend, I'm not going to recommend them to you. Anyhow, we've now tied that, so that's our notebook. We just now need to do our tags that go inside, and our little envelope pocket. So I've gone ahead and made some tags for my other albums, other books. We're just going to make one now, just to show you basically how I do it. I'll find an image in the book that I like, and I'll frame it in a fashion. Pop that one out of the way now. Then I'll get my chopper. Now, if I were making cards or my mini albums, I would have measured that and measured exactly around the edge and left 1/8 of an inch. I'm a little bit more relaxed now I'm junk journaling, and I place it on top of my card in my trimmer. I leave a gap there, and I will cut it to leave a similar gap at that end. There we go. And then I'll do the same with the bottom. That's it, we're done. I've done. I could stress that the gaps. Yeah, I've got to cut a bit more off that side, just because I'll lose sleep if I don't. It's a bit more even. Yeah, happy with that. Then we need our corner chomper again, the broken one. I'm going to use it till it completely wears out, and then I'll bin it. just around those corners. And these. They're more like, I call them tags because they've got a tab on the top, but you could call them photo mats, you could call them journaling cards, whatever you like. Now, I ink that, but on the back of this, what I've been doing is doing a bit of stamping. Let's get a mat out to stamp on. That's not big enough, Julie. Oh, have I really run out? No, I haven't. Here we go, some label backing sheets. When they get too dirty, I just pop them in the bin. So I'll put that on there. The stamp I've used, it's a Tim Holtz one. I'm not sure what set it comes from. It came as a set of 2. I've got quite a few background ones. And this is just lines. There's a couple of solid lines and a dotted line. And the ink I'm using is my Memento Toffee Crunch. That's a dye ink. Just ink it up. I'm not being too particular because I'm not doing perfect stamping. And turn it sideways because that's the only way I can stamp. And then I just randomly, I'll just lay it on, bit of a random press, and then I'll just say to fill in any gaps. There we go. Not difficult. I'll then attach that. I'm going to ink around the flower, but I'm not going to bother inking around the card. I'll do that later. You know how to ink. But if I don't ink this and I stick it on, I can't use it, and I want to use it. Again, I'm using my Collal. It's stopped volcanoing now. I wish I knew why that happened. There's probably some really cool scientific explanation for that. But I don't know what it is. Right, so that's enough of that. Pop that on. You'll see the card I'm using. It's just a random green card that I've picked off Amazon. It tones in with it. It does look pretty bright until you ink the edges. So look, I'll just bring that one in. Can you see I've inked the edges on that? Bit of a different look then, isn't there? Now the tab I'm using are these tabs. I did mention these in my first one, and I mentioned it so that, yeah, only people who have a Cricut would even understand it. But then again, only people who have a Cricut can probably even use it. When you have a Cricut machine, it's the one that, it's the electronic cutter that cuts out shapes. It's one of those. You use a program for it it's called Cricut Design Space. And in Cricut Design Space, you get access to projects that other people have made. Some people put them on for a charge, some people put them on for free. Well, this tab is one I designed using various shapes. It took me ages. It was a nightmare, to be honest. And when I'd finished it, I put it up publicly on Cricut Design Space. So you need to search Cricut Design Space to find this. And then you can cut your own out. There we go. To be honest, I've never actually sold them or done anything, because I won't. People copyright the strangest things, don't they, and trademark them, and I don't know if Stampin' Up! Would trademark this shape. I think I'll find out soon, putting it in this video. It's really weird. I remember when I used to do eBay, I was selling a football club greeting card, and I got a message from a cease and desist message about selling their little shirt. Well, best stop that then. So a lot of these big companies do troll selling sites on YouTube for people inappropriately using their images, trademarks, whatever. Anyhow, I'm in waffle mode again, so that's our tag. Let's pretend that's finished, and we'll swap it out for one that is actually finished. There you go. That saved a bit of time. So we'll bring the book back in. Glue should have all set now, and I'm going to pop these tags in the back. 1 and 2. So that's the back completely finished. Now the next tag we need to do is our little, this is very simple, a little bit of decoupage, not even decoupage is it, a little bit of collage, sorry. I just grabbed some random paper from a random box, I'm going with my 3, a bit of music paper, a bit of straw paper and a bit of book page. I've always got lots of random pieces torn in this box. It's getting a bit full, that. It's time for me to go through it and out some things. I'm sorry if I wobbled camera there because, yeah, the box is really near all the wires. So, here we go. That one looks a good size. What I tend to do sometimes, can you see they're identical? I find it easier to rip 2 or 3 sheets of book page at the same time. They don't tend to want to rip off in their own. You know, if you've ripped paper, sometimes it just does not want to rip in the direction you want it to rip in. And if you rip 2 or 3 pages together, it helps with that. It depends what effect you're looking for. I mean, this is quite raggedy, but I like it on here. That's going to be my base piece. I'm going to have that there, I think. Right, stick book page up there. No, I'm going to put that up there, book page there. And a bit of music paper at bottom, because it's quite a thin strip I've got here, isn't it? There you go. That's it. Sorted. I'm not even going to ink these, they don't always need it. And I'm going to use my art glitter glue. I would use my tonic had I not clogged all my nozzle up. As long as you get the edges, this will be fine. And a little bit in the middle. So we had that about there. Really simple, this. Then we had a bit. Did we have book page on top at music paper, other way around? We have book page under it, so I'll do the book page next. There we go. Happy with that. And here's my little bit of music paper. Get my edges. And it's not going to start wanting to come up when you slide it in and out of your pocket. No idea which way up that goes, but I'm not even worrying about that. I'm getting better at not worrying about these tiny little things. So there we have it. I then need my corner. No, I don't need my corner chomper. I need my little handheld crocodile, and I'm going to pop a little hole in. Again, I'm going to get a... I'm not going to put one of those things behind. Let's see what happens. It's only tag. I don't have one cut. I didn't cut enough. So let's just do that. That's pretty good. That's fine. It's not going to come ripping through. These eyelets are pretty good quality, the ones I've got at the moment. Yeah, you get a nice smooth back and they look very neat. So I'm happy with that. The only other thing I added to that tag then is a tiny little bulb pin. I used a black one. Yeah, you can fasten it, Julie. There we go. And that just pops in there. Now the other 2 things we need are a guest check, and we're going to make the little... Yeah, I don't even have one to show you because the one I showed you on yesterday's video I posted out yesterday. I know I've made some more folders, but I've not done all the little things for inside. So we're going to make a little envelope pocket. So I'm just going to grab a piece of card for that. I just use random bits of card quite often. I'm going to grab my neutrals. Oh no, oh, what's this one I've got? Oh, watercolours. I love these. They come from the Works in the UK, and I love stocking up on these. So let's have a look what we've got. I'm looking for a green watercolour if my daughter's not half-inched it, because green's a favourite colour, and she did like decoupage some of her pen holders. I might have mentioned she's a budding artist. Yeah, she's nicked the green. What is she like? Let's grab a vintage one. Here we go. Another one of these. Vintage sepia. Because I know the paper I used on the last one I have completely run out of. So, yeah, I like that one. We'll go for that. Don't really matter what's on the inside. Pop those out of the way. Now the size this needs to be. Now, this is another one. I make these a slightly different size each time, but the width of them I always make 4 inches. So I'm going to cut a 4-inch strip off. The bottom flap I make at 2 inches. No, I don't. For some reason I sometimes go into centimetres on these. So we want the bottom flap 1 1/4 inches, and then I'm going to do this 3 inches. Well, I'll stop doing that, it's a very annoying noise. I'll count along. So that's 1 1/4. So 3 inches added on to 1 1/4 is 4 1/4. Score again, and then the flap I'm going to do. Let's fold that over just for a second to make sure our flap is going to be long enough. So our flap wants to be at least, what's 3 minus 1 1/4? 1 3/4. So I'll do the flap at 2. Yeah. Bring the chopper back in. I'm going to cut off just where I did my last score mark. And there's our envelope, simples. There we go. Yeah, I think that's going to go with it nicely. Get the bone folder. I'm getting quite a pile of things at siding now. Just crease that down. I'm going to round the corners on the top flap. Yeah, I will write these measurements in the description. Like I said, with this one, I don't always make it the same size. As long as it fits in your pocket, you're sorted. A little bit of ink.
Sorry, I don't know that.
Did we ask her? Did we? She loves to put a 2 penn'orth in, does that woman? What do you think? Should I ring and tell her she's faulty? Because I really didn't say anything there to invite that little chime in. Yeah, it's the Julie and ALEX A show. No, oh, stop singing now, that's terrible. Right, I'll get my 2 little green circles that we got ready in the first video for this. Yeah, so they're going to pop on there. I'm just going to grab my pencil and just put a hole roughly where they want to go. Bring back in the crocodile. That's 4 inches wide, so the centre is 2 inches, so I'll set the marker on my crocodile to 2 inches. No, that's the wrong hole. That's the correct hole. That's that one. And that one. Yeah, it will cut holes that are 3/16 of an inch wide and 1/8 of an inch wide. We're using the larger 3/16. There we go. So grab these. Because it works so well on the tag, I'm not going to put the little piece behind on these. I don't want it to be too bulky. So I'll grab 2 of my... Did I ink these? No, I've not inked the little ones. Bit of ink. But we're on the final stretch now, if you're still with me. Because you've seen everything now. You've seen how to make the journal. I really do like these. I do use these. I've used these myself as my little notebook shopping list thing. I could actually, you know, my plain to-do list, my ideas book, I could swap to using one of these, couldn't I suppose? I might do that. Set that one. Come in with the other. I love making little envelopes like this. It's such a small thing, but it just really, they're just so cute. And we're on art glitter glue. We're just going to glue that bottom flap now. Thin bead. There we go. And then I'm not going to put anything in this pocket today, but what I put in the ones that I sell in my shop, I just put some tea cards in. Or you can put anything in. You can make this little journal in any papers you like. Oh, this is a botanical one, and I tend to put some botanical... I put a little bit of glue there. Oh, that's gone. I tend to put botanical tea cards in. A bit of room. We'll bring the journal back in now and put it together. So, oh, is that the right? No, that's the wrong one. I've got these journals everywhere now. I won't have to make one for my shop for a good while. Oh, we need to put the string on the front. I started off so organised. I get to the end and my mind starts racing. Have I said this? Have I said that? So instead of concentrating on what I should be doing now, yeah, my head's trying to concentrate on too many things at once. So we're just tying that on. Just pop that behind. Can you see how short that is? I really don't want to run out of this 1mm twine until I find some more. I don't pull it too tight, because then there's a chance you could pull it out altogether. You could pull that out. 2 ties. Get my little snippy scissors, cut that off. And then you can either go in a figure 8. Come here, twine. Yeah, I'll do it that way. I'm trying to do it in a left-handed way, then it don't work. I like to do it in a figure 8. Wrap it round 3 or 4 times, and then cut off quite a long chunk. There we go. And I'm going to do the same again with this. I don't know why, whether I should or what the thinking is behind it, but I always tend to put this, attach the string to the flap. I think the flap's the bit you're going to lift up that goes out of the way. That's my reasoning for that. Tie that again. Because we've put those little circles on the back of these to lift it up, it does make it that much easier. This one, I don't need to wrap this round 3 or 4 times, just a couple of times, and that's enough. That will hold it. It's only a tiny envelope. And snip that off. So let's undo this. Pop our envelope in. It just fits nicely there. We've got that in. Do we need a guest check? I don't know if I've got a guest check to hand. Guest checks, where are you? I'll take one out of this other one. This one I think does have one in. Oh, it even had the book in, that one. Yeah, we'll pinch the guest check out of that other. If you see there, I've made that envelope out of a... I did have one to show you. I didn't realise I'd done the inside of this. I've made that out of a completely different cardstock again. You just need to pick something that tones in with that green rustic feel. Pop the guest check in. Pop our notebook on the inside. And there we have it. It's done and dusted. I know this has probably been a long video, but I did have quite a lot covered into. So, there you go. I hope you like it, and if you do make one, I'd really love to see it. You can find me and tag me on Instagram, or you can leave a comment below. I do have a Facebook page, same name. It's my full name, Julie Walker, at Camelia Crafts Designs, so you can post it on there. But I really would love to see it if anyone tries this. And if you have any questions, just pop them below, drop me an email, or ask me on my Instagram or Facebook. I've really enjoyed making that for you. So, thank you very much. Again, thank you to my new subscribers. My subscribers are growing, and I can't explain the thrill that's given me. I'm really, really grateful. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.